Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I want to thank you for hitting that play button. If you're brand new to the channel, this is your very first time stopping by Corvettes 918. My name is Chuck, and I want to thank you, and I'm very honored that you did hit that play button today. On this channel, we deal with everything Corvettes. Right over there is my wife's 2017 Collector's Edition. This one right here is my 2019 ZR1 that I got a couple of weeks ago. Her name is Fearsome, and her name is Fearless, just in case you wanted to know. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I install a ceramic coating on the ZR1. We're going to be doing the top and then the wing. Of course, if I showed you the entire process, you'd be here for like 3 hours. If you want to see an extensive how-to video as far as putting on the ceramic coating, I will have linked below. I did totally film doing my wife's. I didn't do that on the ZR1. Our weather's been bad, time constraints, things like that. Therefore, I'm only going to show you kind of a highlight of me putting on this car. I'm going to talk a little bit about why I am using a ceramic coating maybe versus PPF, and that's a paint protection film like Expel or Suntech or something like that. So linked below is my Corvettes 918 store. Now, this is something I'm only doing very limited. If you've been a subscriber here, or you've been a family member here on the channel for a long time, a lot of people have asked me over the past year, Chuck, are you going to make any type of merchandise or do anything to put your logo? And I have made some hats. I've got some shirts. I've got a polo. But everything that's in that store, once it's gone, that will be it. I won't be doing any more. It's just I wanted to create something to be able to put it out there for people to have. So it's more of a commemorative type stuff. Take advantage of that. Make sure you check out the store. If there's something that you like, make sure you grab it, because once that's gone, that will be it. Process now of doing the final step, the third coating of the Geon Mows on the 2019 ZR1, and it is called the Geon Skin. And what this layer is kind of the hydrophobic layer. This really gives it all of its shine. It gives the paint its richness, and also makes it so that, you know, nothing is really going to stick to the car. Water, all those types of things just massively bead and run off of the car. This is that's why they call it the skin. Now this process that I have, the ceramic coating, which I will have linked below, again, is the Geon Mows Q2 Synchro. And what I like about this product is it's a 2-year product, meaning you can put it on. It's a 9H hardness, so it's no different than like a Ceramic Pro 9H. Maybe you've heard of that before. There's just a lot of different ones out there, but this is brand new this year in 2018, and it's a lot more forgiving. You know, a lot of people say, you know, only a professional should put on a ceramic coating. And I think the only people probably saying that is probably people who are in the industry, or people that are just too scared themselves to do it. And so they kind of hate on anybody who does this stuff themselves. You know, can anybody do this? I think if you have some patience, I think if you know how to, you know, dial in your paint, because I think that's the biggest thing that you have to do right, is you've got to make sure that, you know, that you're good with a polisher, a DA polisher, that you know how to, you know, cut paint and go through and be able to compound it and finish it off. Because if you don't have great paint, all you're doing with this product is trapping those imperfections. But if your paint is pretty much dialed in, this enhances it. Now, a lot of people also say, you know, Chuck, you know, you should have, you know, on a car like this, you should do, you know, a PPF, a paint protection film. And, you know, I have, I'm not a hater on film. For me, it's all about doing what you want to do to your car. You know, film, I think, is great if you're going to be doing a ton of tracking with the car. You want to add, you know, some, you know, maybe you're going to be going up in the mountains and you're living in an area that has beautiful roads and rocks and all those types of things. PPF is great to help protect the paint, but it's not the end-all be-all product. Even that product has its own flaws. You know, it doesn't matter what you're driving. If it's something this low to the ground and can move this fast, you're going to have rock chips. I don't care if it's PPF or what. And rock chips can get through the PPF and can get to the paint. But for me, I didn't want to put PPF on it and then put a ceramic coating on it. You're going to spend, to do that with a professional, you know, $9,000. And then you come to the point of, okay, it's something that you have on the car, it's something that you're going to, yes, have to maintain, but at what point do you take the PPF off if it starts getting ate up and different things like that? But for me, again, this is what I had on my 2016 black Z06 that I had, and I was very, very happy with the product. Now, it was a different ceramic coating, but, I just like ceramic coatings, and so that's what I'm doing on my ZR1, and I just, and for just video purposes, I'm not wearing a mask, but after I get through with this and start off, the rest of the car, I definitely put a mask on, because this stuff is, it's got a smell to it. So you definitely want to kind of protect yourself. You'll start getting lightheaded if you don't. But it's very simple to put on. And it's just all about putting it on and then taking it off. So just work in sections with a cross hatch. And then once you put it on, now this coat right here is the skin is a little bit thicker than the actual Geon Mo's. So once you have it on, you're just going to go through and you're going to just wipe the product off. And this right here, I had to, after the second coating of the Geon Mo's, I had to wait 4 hours. So this is 4 hours later. So I recommend using two different microfibers. I've got one that is going to be the takeoff, and then one that's more of kind of a buffer. Now you do want to use microfiber towels that don't have any lint. As you know, some microfibers just have a ton of lint in them. So we don't want to be introducing any lint or anything like that into the actual paint or product, and that's pretty much it. And it just looks, I think what I like about ceramic coatings the most is that they really do make taking care of your car much simpler. If you want that really deep shine, then this stuff is amazing for that. You just take it, you got your applicator pad, just put some right on the top. And then I've done half of this, so I'm going to go back, and you want to overlap it just a little bit. And you don't want to do real huge sections, like if you're doing a door, something like that, you want to do half of the door. So once you go back through, then you're going to cross hatch, you're going to go back the opposite direction. And this just kind of helps, make sure that you don't, number one, you don't miss an area, but it also helps kind of spread the product out. And again, you got anywhere between 10 and 30 seconds to start taking it off. And you'll see it, depending on the color of car, of course I've done my wife's over there, the Grand Sport. And the darker colors, it's a little easier to see it, kind of flashing. It's going to kind of turn into like an oil slick. And again, this first towel here, you're just kind of lightly taking the product off. And then your second towel, which is more of, again, kind of the buffing towel, is what you're using to, take out any of the final streaks or anything. And you're not using much, I'm not sitting here, shoving down on it or anything like that. It's just a light. And you always kind of want to wipe over into other areas because you will push some product over in a joining area. So you just want to make sure you don't leave any of that there. Okay, and that's pretty much it. but it just gives it a real, I know the camera doesn't do it any justice, but I mean, it just gives it that just amazing shine. Now this process here, now that the top is done, you only do one coat of the actual skin product, and then you're going to let this, you want to keep it in the garage for a minimum of 24 hours without any type of, you don't want to put a car cover on it. You don't want to do anything that's really going to interact with the car itself. It can't get any water on it. You don't want to get out and drive it. I usually, the rule of thumb is 24 hours minimum. I would say 48 hours, because this is going to continue to cure for up to 10 days. So I know if you need to get it out, you need to drive it or something like that, after a couple of days, you're going to be okay, but it's going to continue to cure. And again, the less you can keep it out of the elements, the better off, you know, it's going to look in the long run. Wing here. Now, you know, ceramic coatings, people, of course, there's so many of them on the market now. There's different hardnesses. This is, like I said before, this is a 9H. But there's others that are going to be out there that, you know, that only a professional can get. Even Gian Mo's makes some particular coatings that, you know, I can't even buy through Esoteric. And if you guys aren't following Todd over at Esoteric, just on YouTube, just go to Esoteric, his YouTube channel, and he is number one, he's a super nice guy. I've you know, communicated with him several times, and he is just very knowledgeable in car detailing. I mean, he's got a really nice shop up in Ohio where he does high-end cars, Ferraris, Porsches, Corvettes. He used to own a Z06. He now owns one of the new ZL1 1LEs, because he does like going to the track. But definitely check him out. But, you know, again, there are going to be some, because it's like when I got my Ceramic Pro 9H on my Z06 2.5 or a little over 2 years ago. And, you know, I wanted the highest package they had. I think it was the gold package, where you got like 5 layers of Ceramic Pro or whatever, however many they actually put on. You know, they may tell you that we put 5 layers on and they put 3. I mean, you're not going to know, but unless you're sitting there watching them the whole time. And yes, they have a, you know, 10-year warranty and those types of things. But, you know, I want something, this is supposed to last about 2 years. Allow me in 2 years to go back and address any, you know, major scratches or anything that should happen on the paint. I can go through and repolish it and then redo this whole step again. And I don't have to worry about doing any wet sanding, which, you know, if you've got something that's, you know, really on there, you're going to have somebody professionally take that off to get to any of the scratches or anything like that you may have in the paint that may occur through a rock hitting it or who knows what. But this right here, again, not only is it very user-friendly and novice-friendly, which of course I like, but it's something that's not you know, I'm not locked in for 10 years and have to spend a ton of money having somebody wet sand this thing if I need to, you know, get something corrected on it. And, you know, this stuff will actually, you can polish it, or you can compound it off if you need to prematurely without, you know, doing a bunch of damage to the paint. So again, I'm just going with what I know, what I enjoyed for 2 years on my Z06. It was super easy to maintain, soap and water. I don't have to worry about, you know, to get that showroom shine. I don't have to get out and polish it, or, you know, and if you like doing that, then, you know, I always tell people, do what you like to do. Don't do what someone else is doing or what someone else says you should do. Do what you want to do. Because it doesn't matter. I mean, if you mow your grass one way, there will be people that will argue with it needs to be done the other way. And that's just society nowadays. You know, people sit behind, you know, keyboards and, you know, they drive Mama's Prius back and forth every day to work, and, you know, they don't have a sports car, but yet they know what should be done. You know, people say, you know, only a professional should be doing this. Well, I'm no professional and I'm doing it, and the results, I mean, the results are great if you ask me. And I think the only person that really matters is, you know, the owner. You know, what do you feel comfortable with, and what are you able to do, and does it achieve the look that you want? And I mean, And that's what's so great about Todd and the guys over at Esoteric. You know, they are professionals at what they are, but they also show you as a novice and as someone who's a DIY person that wants to get out there and, you know, there's some things that you can do yourself. You don't need a professional to do it. There's always going to be debates on anything. Again, if you want to put a PPF on your car and that's what you feel comfortable with, then by all means, definitely do that. You know, I'm not going to tell anybody that, hey, you know, you shouldn't do that. It's not going to look as good. You know, just in my opinion, I just, you know, the more and more I went and looked at cars that had it on it, it was just, I just couldn't do it. You know, I couldn't. You know, yes, you know, one guy told me, he goes, yeah, PPF is your protection for the next guy. You know, and that's so true with so many people who spend $7,000, $8,000 having their car, you know, X-Bell put on it, and then maybe they do a ceramic coating over the top of that, and you know, then, you know, a year and a half, 2 years later, they sell the car. Well, you know, number one, the dealership, if it's something you're going to trade in, they don't care that you've done all of that. You're not going to get any value back out of that. You know, and the next person may care or may not. They may not want it and have it taken off. But, you know, everything we do with our cars, whether it's modifications or, you know, anything we do to it, exhaust, we're doing it on our own dime just because that's something that we want to tailor the car to our way. You know, we're not going to get any value for that later on unless you, like, return your car back to stock or something and spend the money to do that or the time to do all that. Asking yourself, Chuck, you going to do the bottom of the wing? Yes, I'm going to do the bottom. I've already I put 2 coatings on up underneath here. Things I do want to run over that I've gotten questions on from people. The side mirrors, of course, they came off. They came off the color of the car instead of the carbon flash that I had asked for. But instead of having the whole interior side of this car, door panel ripped off and all of that done, painted, and then this down here would have to be, I didn't want to go through all of that. So I've left the mirrors how they are now, the body color. If I ever want to change something, then I may go ahead and just wrap them carbon fiber. I think it kind of worked out the best because I'm actually kind of digging that color. It just kind of really blends into the car really, really well. But if I want to, at least I can go ahead and wrap them or something like that to get that feel. And if I don't like it, I can take the wrap off. But guys, I hope you enjoy this video of me showing you what I like to do to my cars, and that's put a ceramic coating on them.